Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to Crepe 101 with Chef Lawrence. I'm just getting together a couple of things, my pans, that I can show you guys what we're using. I have lots of questions for you. The questions from you guys were, can I use a crepe maker? If you still have your 70s crepe maker, that's great. We're gonna be using a crepe pan, which is it's like a frying pan. It's non-stick and has this very short sides. Works really great. If you don't have one of these, you may have one of these. This is the kind of pan you just buy at the grocery store. It's hanging in there, not really fancy at all. Probably about $10, and it's non-stick too. This one has a couple of scratches in it, but that's okay. But just if you have that, if you don't have something non-stick, just be conscious of the way the crepes will be sticking to your pan today. Just make sure you lose enough oil and fat, butter, or whatever. We're usually going to use butter, so that's what you're going to need. So we're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Make sure you wash your hands. I'm going to go wash my hands again because I've been touching other things, and we'll come back and get to it. And we're washing your hands. Make sure you get lots of bubbles. Those bubbles are what carries away the dirt and the germs, the viruses, and anything like that. Breaks down the fatty outside of that coronavirus too. So get in there, get on the sides of your fingers, and then make sure you take care to get in there where your nails are, and just make sure that there's nothing sticking. If you cook as much as we do, sometimes you've got a little bit of dough in there from making bread when you're rolling it. So every day we're always making sure that our nails are really clean, because that's a good place for germs to harbor themselves, to hide out. So make sure you're washing your hands really good, and if you're touching anything raw, like today we're going to be touching eggs, remember to wash your hands each time, because we don't want salmonella to ruin our day. How many people we've got? 228. Welcome everyone. So we're going to get started with talking about what we need for the class. We're going to go over the ingredient list. I'm getting these hands good and dry. All right, so for tools today, we're going to need a crepe pan, or something that you're going to cook the crepes on. It could be a non-stick pan. It could be a regular frying pan that doesn't have non-stick on it. But look for the pan that your mom says is the one that she uses for eggs or scrambled eggs or something like that, nothing sticks to it. There's probably something in your house that she has for that. Oops, making all the noise. We're going to need a spatula, a rubber spatula. We're going to be doing some mixing with that. We're also going to need a whisk. I'll bring it to you. Whisk, and this is a French whisk. It kind of does like that. We also have that full of flour. We're going to need some measuring spoons, measuring cups, things like that, and then some ingredients. We're going to be working with 2 eggs, chicken eggs. We're going to do 1 cup of whole milk. If you don't have whole milk, you can use 1%, you can use 2%, you can use half and half, or cream, that's fine. People have asked about almond milk or soy milk. I do say that you can use that. I think it's fine. What I want you to do is add an extra egg, because we're going to lose some of the fat by not using cow milk. So you're going to lose some of that fat. So by adding an egg, you're going to add in some more fat, and I think that will help with the browning. Maybe same one cup, but just it'll help with the browning when we come to start cooking the crepes. We're also going to need some vanilla. We're going to be making savory and sweet crepes today, but vanilla is okay. It's a great flavor in with other things other than chocolate chip cookies. It's great. Vanilla is a great flavor to add to something like lobster, and it comes out really great. Vanilla and lobster is really good. We've got 1 cup of all-purpose flour. In this recipe, you can use that almond flour or something like that. I want you to be conscious that some of it'll come out a little thinner. If you've ever made pancakes before, this is a similar batter to pancakes. Maybe a little thinner than pancake batter, but we're going to work with that. We also have sugar. This is 1/3 of a cup of sugar. So I've already measured these out. So this is 1/3 of a cup. So 3 of these would make a cup. So when you're working with your measurements, make sure you know how many things fit into the recipe. So we're using 3 times as much flour as we are sugar. We're also going to use salt, and this is a 1/4 teaspoon. not a lot of salt, just enough to just give it a little kick in the flavor. And then you're gonna need a tablespoon or 2 of melted butter. Mine's, the room is cold, so the butter has started to congeal again, but what I'm using for is I'm gonna cook this, put this on the pan when I'm putting on my crepes, okay? So while we're getting started, before we do any mixing, I want you to turn on your pan, under the fire underneath your pan, to low, to almost, if you've got a simmer, go as low as you can. I just like to warm up that pan so that it's ready to go when we're ready to cook, okay? I'm gonna go over the ingredients again one more time so that everyone is on the same page. All right, 2 eggs. You can use egg replacement if you need that. If that's in your recipe, egg replacement is like a non-protein or animal protein replacement for eggs. Use that for 2 eggs, the same kind of replacement. We're gonna use 1 cup of whole milk, 1 cup of, it could be half and half, it could be 2%, it can be whatever you got in the house. If you've got heavy cream and you've got 1%, combine the 2 equal parts and you're gonna get something like close to whole milk. We're gonna use 1/3 cup of sugar. We're gonna use 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna use vanilla. The vanilla is about 1/2 teaspoon, not a lot of vanilla. And then we've got our flour, 1 cup of flour, all purpose. You can use alternative flours if you like. Someone asked me last night, can I use whole wheat flour? Just be aware that you're gonna be making whole wheat crepes. So it's gonna have a little bit of different taste to it. And I think you may need to add a little bit more water to thin it down because it has a little bit more gluten in that flour. And then we're using 2 tablespoons of butter, and that's for cooking, okay? What you see up here also that you might not see at your house, I'm gonna be making a couple of different things. For savory, I'm gonna be using, I have a stir fry left over from last night that we had. This is pork and asparagus. You can use whatever you've got in the house. You can just do cheese, or you can add in, if you've got crab meat or fried chicken or whatever you've got just lingering around. You fill your crepe later when we stuff it. I also have 2 sweet items. I've got apple butter, something that we always have in our house, and then I have an orange marmalade, and this is similar to something called a crepe Suzette. You would flame that with some orange liqueur, but today we're just gonna make a basic kid-friendly crepe Suzette with some orange marmalade. It's really good with a little bit of butter on top. My favorite crepe is a Nutella crepe. And we're not doing Nutella today only because of nut allergies for you guys. Some people will have a nut allergy, and in that Nutella is hazelnuts and chocolate. So we're gonna just omit that. So if you like it, like Nutella or peanut butter and jelly goes great in this thing, easy things to make, you can just do that later. So what I'm gonna tell you now, is we're just gonna bring all these ingredients together. I've got the cup of flour, and we're gonna add to that 2 eggs. We're gonna crack those. And remember, when we crack the eggs, we're gonna crack them flat on the counter so that we don't get the shell in the bowl. And we're really just, it's a dump recipe. We're gonna get all the ingredients in there at the same time. We've got our eggs in with the flour. We're gonna add in our salt. We're gonna add in our sugar. And remember to cook clean. Keep all your counters clean. Put your things to the side. The vanilla's going in. And really the only ingredient that we have left is our milk. And that's what we're gonna put in next. But first I'm gonna bring it all together by stirring it with the whisking it all up. When I was, I was in middle school, there was a cooking school near our house. And I grew up in Southwest Houston. There was a cooking school near our house over off of Fondren and Braeswood, and my sister went and took cooking classes there, and this was one summer with our 2 next door neighbor friends, and she, I don't know, to this day, every time I eat a crepe, I think of her. A lot of people think of France. I think of my sister, because she, like, that summer was the summer of quiche and crepes, and that's all she knew how to make. My mom was working, and she just continued to just make broccoli and chicken quiche every day. It seemed like every day. Anyway, but she was helping out by making dinner. But every time I think of quiche and crepes, I think of my sister. And she's watching today. because she needs a refresher course on how to make crepes, I think. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to repeat again what we did. We had a bowl of flour, our cup of flour measured out. I added in 2 of the large eggs, cracked them on the counter, and then put in the eggs. And then I added the salt, the sugar, and the vanilla. And once I got those all together, I whisked that together until it came kind of a little bit of paste. And then I added in the milk, and this is whole milk, and it's a 1 cup of whole milk. If you can see, I'm kind of just checking. Milk sometimes likes to stick to the side of your cup or in the container, so you can get all of it out. One trick is if you're using hot, heavy cream and you dump it into your pan and you think you're done, you can put the heavy cream next to the stove. It'll warm up, and then you'll get about another 2 tablespoons or so of heavy cream out of that container, just because that milk heated up and kind of thinned down a little bit. All right, so see how I've got it going? You can look at that consistency there. It's almost like a ribbon. It's going to come out great. What's that for? You may need a little bit, but I'm showing them how to check to see. There's a ribbon all the way from the top of the place right here all the way down. It's kind of thin enough that it runs off like a batter. So this is not a dough anymore, it's a batter, right? Is that showing him everything? Okay. Is everybody ready to make crepes? Need to repeat it one more time, anybody? All right, keep whisking until it comes out very like a mixture that's thin, no lumps, and it's just running enough to come off the whisk like that. Be careful when you're doing that, don't make a mess in your kitchen. All right. So the butter's going to be for the pan. So we're going to be cooking with butter. So that's why the butter is in the recipe. 311 viewers from all over pretty much the country. We've got some people from Alaska here, Florida, North Dakota. Wow. We've got a lot. Great. All right. So we are going to move. Sure. So one more time, we're going to do the process real quick. We've had a cup of flour in a bowl. We're going to add 2 cups of, 2 eggs. Crack the eggs on the counter and put the eggs into the bowl, adding in your salt, your sugar, and your vanilla, and stir that to combine. And then you're going to add in 1 cup of milk, and then you're going to whisk that until it comes out to a batter that looks like this. Almost like when you're making a cake, this is about the same consistency of cake batter, a little bit thinner than pancake batter. So this is essentially a thin pancake. That's okay. That's okay. You're just adding a little bit of fat to your butter, to your batter, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with more butter, I think. And then get some more butter because you're going to need it for the pan. All right. All right. So we're going to move on. So a while ago we heated up our pan. We've got it on very low. I'm going to ask you to bring it up a little bit more. I'm going to move some of these out of the way. And I'm going to add in my butter. And I don't want it to see it sizzling. I just want it to melt. I don't want it hot enough to sizzle in the pan. You just want to coat the bottom of your pan with the butter all around and up the sides if you can, because if anything gets out of hand, you at least aren't going to be sticking to the sides. All right. See how this? What's watery? Is it? Here's the question. I don't know what kind of flour or what kind of milk you use. If you use my recipe, you're going to get your batter's going to look like this. If it's thinner, it's because you use something else or you've added in too many things. So check your measurements and see if you've got off anywhere. right? So I'm using a little cup like this. This is a quarter cup, and I'm just knowing that because I'm going to kind of measure it out. I'm going to start with almost a whole, 1 scoop of that. So I'm going to put it into the center, go straight into the center, and let it, don't try to find a way for it to spread out. Just go ahead and put it in the center and then work from there. I'm going to set this down, turn it up just a little bit more heat, and see how I move that around? The whole pancake or the whole crepe is moving by itself. It's actually not spreading anymore. So I've got my spatula here, and that's what we're gonna flip with. Questions? I've got mine on medium, but that's my pan. That's where I am. So if it's not sizzling, the butter's not splattering or anything, then that's where you need to be. You can see that my crepe is starting to have bubbles, like when you're making a pancake. You can see the bubbles. It means it's starting to cook. It's starting to release the steam, and that's what the bubbles are appearing from. The steam is pushing up through the crepe and trying to escape. So I know there's some cooking going on. All right. Hi, 335 people around the country. All right, don't. Who's saying happy birthday? Dana Hopkins, yeah. So a couple of these guys are my friends, and in real life, and yeah, today it's my birthday. How many of you got to work on your birthday? How are you? I'm lucky enough to have a job still to be able to work on my birthday. So just check your crepes. Thank you, guys. So look, if you'll take a look. Oh, of course, mine tore. All right, so I'm not ready to turn yet, so I'm going to put it back. Maybe turn it up just the heat just a little bit more, so you can start to see some steam coming off. Yeah. Right. So all stoves are different, all pans are different. So even altitudes and things like that where you live is going to change this recipe a little bit for you. But what we're looking for is a pancake, basically shaped crepe, and you're looking for it to start to cook. So when you look at it, and I don't know if the camera's picking this up, when I put it on there, some parts of it are real shiny right in here, and then this part is kind of flat. Now, I think you're picking it up now. It's flat, so that flat meaning that it's not shiny anymore. So I know that part is starting to cook better. All right, and so I'm looking for this shiny to kind of go away. I don't know if you can catch it from the side. You're going to see some where the steam's not coming through anymore because it's not liquid anymore. You're going to see those bubbles starting to appear. They're kind of puffing up. That way you know that is actually cooked because it's starting to turn brown on the edge too. But I know it's cooking because the steam can no longer get through it. It's kind of like it doesn't allow the air to come through or the steam to come through. So I know it's cooking. I'm going to try to flip it with this. Thank you, guys. Do what? Okay. So this is our kids class today. If you're looking for Crepes 101, this is kids Crepes class 101. This is our 12 o'clock noon class. So some people are looking for where'd our class go? Well, our class is here. So I'm making sure that moves. All right, see how that steams up? Starting to get thicker there. I pushed down the air. I want to see it to turn a little bit brown. I don't want this pan to be hot enough that it's turning dark brown, okay? So crepes are supposed to be kind of pale yellow and with a little bit of browning on it. If you do it too, spatula. I need a fish bat. So I'm looking for it, yeah. So I'm getting one more tool. So if yours isn't able to turn, mine's so delicate it's not wanting to turn, I'm gonna get a regular spatula. All right, so this is called a fish spatula because it bends, but I'm gonna flip it over. There we go. And that little Maria she flipped it and made it landed it perfectly. I need one plate too, but it's right over here. Oh, perfect. All right, so you need to get a plate ready, and also a towel. And the towel is just a kitchen towel, a clean kitchen towel. Didn't wipe your hands on it or anything. We're going to take the crepe and we're going to put it on our plate, and I'm just going to cover it up and make another one. All right, but this will keep it warm and pliable so they can bend later. Put one over here so that my production crew can taste it while it thanks. All right, so we're gonna do it again. You hear those Scooby-Doo laughs over there? All right, see how that now that it's getting hotter and hotter, that's what I don't want to see, that butter splattering. But once you get it on there, I'm going to do a big one now. One big one. A little bit more. It's almost 2 scoops. And then let it spread out from the center. Kind of like me. All right. A spatula will work. You just got to wait till it is ready to flip. And you can see, like I was going to use this. I was going to use this one, and it doesn't really have. It's silicone. It doesn't have that grip to get it. So I'm going to use. Now I'm going to say fish spatula or regular spatula, like you would flip an egg or a hamburger or something like that. It doesn't have to be metal. It can be plastic or it can be silicone. Mine just wasn't grabbing right. The top was just kind of a little bit too small. All right. Wasn't able to get all the way under that. So keep an eye. I'm kind of flipping back and forth on my temperature. I'm looking for like medium when I put the butter on, and then I heat it back up to high. The reason I'm doing that is just to control the temperature. You can see the steam coming off right here. That means it's cooking. We're going to start seeing some bubbles appear. There's a little one there that we know it's cooking. And then remember, back in the next one, we're going to start seeing, because it usually cooks from the outside, we're going to start seeing it to start getting dull or matte finish, kind of dry looking, and then the center's still wet. And when it starts to thicken up and the steam can't get through, you're going to start to see some kind of bulges and things like that. All right. How's everyone's looking? Someone said I'm late? That's all right. If you're late to the game, you can keep watching us, and then you can check back, because this is being filmed and it'll be on our page today. We're also setting up a YouTube channel. I've got one video on there. It's the cookie class from last week. Yeah, it's on there. The other ones are getting uploaded hopefully today. All right. So heating. Make sure. Going a little higher. Remember, you don't want to do it too much, because you want your crepe to look this color with a little bit of browning, rather than a dark brown all over, because then you have got too much caramelization. So while this is here, I'm just going to show you real quickly. We're waiting on that crepe. I'm going to go ahead and make this my savory crepe. I'm going to put in, and this is leftover from yesterday. This is just, I heated it up in the microwave a while ago. This is just a pork and asparagus stir fry we did last night for dinner. And then add that in. I'm just going to fold it over like this. All right. Roll it up. Welcome from San Antonio. Welcome, guys from Austin. Awesome, thank you. Say hi to some of you guys. Okay, keep an eye looking, guys. It's starting to brown a little bit. So while I was over here working on that crepe, there we go. See how that is? So that's where we're starting to get that browning. So I wanted to make sure that I'm turning my heat down just a little bit. Too much heat will make that to brown too quickly, and what happens is it burns right away. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. We're gonna do one with straight butter. We're gonna do a crepe Suzette, a kid's crepe Suzette with the thank you. It's great working in the kitchen there, just handing you stuff. Remember to work clean, okay? All right. This one's a little thick, but we'll go with it. All right, so maybe as you're going, you need to keep mixing that. Take your whisk and mix in that the batter one more time, just so that nothing's settling in there. So while this is still warm, I'm putting this orange marmalade on there. Orange, basically orange jelly with with some peel in there, the candied peel. It's really beautiful. And then we're just going to roll these up. There's one. We're going to do it again. So I know this pan, I can see it steaming already, so I'm just going to turn it all the way down. I'm even going to move it off. So if it's very hot, you can just move it off the top of where the heat's coming from, and it'll cool your pan down a little bit. We're going to see it sizzle that again. You don't want it to sizzle too much. See how that's splattering? Too hot. All right. So what's yours is doing that, just wait. Spread it out. One more time. Goes right into the middle. And this time, I'm going to put a little bit less a batter on there, and I'm just going to spread it out a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of move it around. If you're in a crepe shop, sometimes they have this little wooden paddle, and they have that spread it out so that it's even on the whole pan, or you can see it. It's kind of like a little crepe, little stand, and then that's the crepe. It doesn't even have a place for the batter not to fall off. It just kind of stays at the top, and they sit there and work it. It's really fun to watch people professionals make crepes in crepe shops. All right, so we're just keeping that warm. It's now become a whole unit, and then we're going to look for those bubbles. We're going to look for the browning. Not a lot of sizzling on. Here's our first one, or our second one. The first one kind of was a little cool, but this is our first attempt at the pork and asparagus one. Good. And then this one was crepe Suzette. And crepe Suzette is orange, an orange crepe. Suzette was the one who they made it for. I don't know. Yeah, French recipes are made. A lot of things are out there. There's a steak Diane. There was probably a steak that was made for Diane, so they named it Diane. There's crepe Suzette. I'm sure Suzette enjoys having a crepe named after her. But you know, when you create a recipe, you get to call it whatever you want. So come up with something and you can make it your own. There's nothing wrong with that. Being a chef gives you a lot of creative license. Just remember not to be a copycat and make something, and then you got to check to make sure that other people haven't made it already. So that's like what is it called? Plagiarism, where using other people's words as your own. All right, awesome. Yeah, so here's another trick for you. This recipe is great to make a bunch of crepes, and then you take them and you fill them with ricotta cheese and ground beef or whatever. You can do that, and then you lay them in a pan all together like little rolls, and then you cover it with a nice marinara sauce, and these are called manicotti. Instead of using a shell, it's lightened it up and made it with crepes, so it's a lighter. Sure. I can't use that because my mom used to spank me with one, and it just brings back bad memories. All right, the question was, can I use a wooden spoon? I said, absolutely. I can't use one because my mom used to spank me with one, and it scares me. I just think of that. No, she never hit me. I'm sure she's watching today too. So we're heating this up. Remember this other side, we're keeping an eye. The steam's coming off. Really light. It's like a fluffy, thin, light pancake. I'm going to throw it up here again, and we're going to do this one with apple butter. right? And while it's still warm, I found this is the best way to put it on. So I'm gonna just put the apple butter on now. And apple butter is kind of got apples and cinnamon. It's kind of like a thick apple sauce with spices in it. Really good. I don't know, we made it here in a class one time and I had some leftover, I think. So you don't get that recipe. You're getting, sorry, yo. All right, so there's our second one, and you can keep going. I'm gonna keep eating this pork. Okay, one more, and then we'll call it a day. Lemon what? Oh, lemon sugar. We're getting requests for lemon and sugar. I don't know if we have lemon and sugar. Lemon and sugar? I never even heard that one, but. Oh, powdered sugar, okay. All right. Sure. This is what you want to do instead? If this is what you want for breakfast, these are like stuffed pancakes, so just, you'll tell me how to do it. So we're looking, got one of the chefs running in the other room and grabbing a recipe, getting stuff for another recipe. We're been asked to do lemon and sugar, so a lemon juice and sugar? Yeah. All right. Maybe I just haven't been around. I've never heard that one, but. All right, so this is the other chef's favorite is lemon and sugar. Squeeze lemon juice over the crepe and then dust it with powdered sugar. Hey, Antoinette, in there's a shaker, a white. Chef Terry might know where it is. All right, so we're heating that up. A little bit too hot now. See the sizzling going on? I like to go low and slow. That is the tempo. All right. Okay. Excuse me. So here we go. It's starting to look dry on the edges. I would say I'd flip it, but I think I got too much butter on there. Maybe if I take some of that little butter off the edge. I'm gonna flip it for him. All right, I just took this little bit of butter off the pan. All right, so I've had a request to, instead of using my spatula, is to flip it. And here's the chance to watch me fail right in front of you guys. So what I'm looking to do is flip it. So if you're looking, now I want you to ask your mom if you can do this before. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but this is fun. I mean, this is always fun because you get to play with your food. And when you sit at the table and your mom says, don't play with your food, well, that's how I got started in this business. I played with my food all the time. All right, so mine's starting to steam, starting to dry out. You can see it kind of puffing up. These bubbles are starting to appear because the steam's not getting through. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip it. Ready? Count me down. 1, 3,
2, 1.
No.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I waited too long, but yeah, that looks. There you go. I'm turning the heat down. Woo! That was close. I saw my face, my whole life flash in front of my eyes. I'm like, here's your chance to embarrass yourself in front of a bunch of people. Why not? You're only 51 months. That's right, 51. Y'all were all thinking 27. I know. No. All right, so I've got that done. So this is going to be Chef Antoinette's favorite. So do we squeeze it here or do we squeeze it on the? Okay. So dust it with powdered sugar now. Okay. All right. And then put the lemon juice in there. Yeah, so the dust. All right, so a little sugar. I'm gonna put some lemon juice in there. And what I'm just draining it off the edge of my hand so that it doesn't get the seeds in there. All right. All right. And now we're just rolling it up. And this is her favorite. I'm gonna guess that we're gonna put a little more sugar on top. I think a little bit more. And so there you go. We've made 4 crepes. We made a savory one of asparagus and pork stir fry. That fell apart a little bit, but the inside of this one is crepe Suzette. This is orange marmalade. This one has apple butter in it. This one is just simple powdered sugar and lemon. And she says to put a little bit more lemon on the top. So we're gonna do that. And then these are our crepes for today. And you can see there's no rules about what you can stuff inside the crepe. You can make, you can put scrambled eggs and bacon inside one for a breakfast crepe. You can put fresh strawberries and whipped cream in them. You can put, oh, she's over here just going crazy with all these flavors. So, yeah. So right, put some sausage in there. For breakfast again. You can do with spinach, like a cream spinach and ham, and do something like crepes Florentine. The batter, you keep making them, so you're just gonna keep making them till they're all gone. No, you don't. This is so easy. You don't have to freeze them. I mean, what are you gonna do? Don't freeze them. Eat them. All right, make it and eat it. That's what we're. So I'm gonna go ahead and I want to taste Chef Antoinette's favorite, sugar and lemon. That's pretty good. She likes that. It doesn't have a lot of just a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs in there, right? Is that what it is? Simple and so good. So remember what we're doing now. We're finishing up. We're eating. We're keeping our kitchen clean. I'm back on Saturday this week. We're going to do another Nailed It competition. Remember that if your Bella's out there watching me, hey, contact me. I need to get a gift certificate to you because you won on last Saturdays. And then also, Ms. Govan has that as well. I can't remember. Elena, if you're watching, go ahead and contact me as well. I want to get you a gift certificate. They're both get $50 gift certificates to future classes at main course. This week we're going to do an Easter theme, so get your pastel colors ready for Saturday. It'll be posted at 10 a.m. and then you're just going to copy it, make a dessert just the same as I did, and then you're going to post it by Monday morning so that we can, or post it to me, email it to me so I can get it posted Monday morning for judging. Easter's this weekend, so make sure everyone is out there and taking care of each other, but also getting a little bit of candy eggs in there. And then next week, announcement for what we're doing next week. We are doing on Tuesday, we're making Texas chili, and we're going to turn the Texas chili into Frito pies. So if you haven't had a Frito pie, a little bit of cheese and onions and Fritos and chili and really great food. And then for next Thursday, we are making in-house, we're making donuts. Really quick and easy donuts, and then we're going to teach you some ways to make the glaze and some things to go on top of those donuts. I've had a lot of requests for donuts, so we're going to do that. And keep reaching out to us and letting us know, send us pictures of what you've done. If you would like to help us out in any way with a gratuity, we have ability to take gratuities from 4 different platforms now. So we appreciate everyone who's already done that. We love getting the love that way so that we can continue to do classes. We also are doing local deliveries. We did a lot of deliveries last night for Passover. We're doing them for Easter, and we'd love to help you guys out any way we can. All right, so until next Tuesday, we will see you back here. Come with an appetite. We're going to do chili Frito pie.